Hey guys, it's the Plum Dot here and welcome back to my channel for part 2 of the Point Break, which is for the June Rory Plays The Sims Build Challenge. Now if you guys haven't checked out part 1, I suggest you go and do that now, and I'll leave a little suggestion box in the top corner for you. For part 2, I'm decorating the kitchen and the living room, and I tried to complete one area first before moving on to the next to limit any motion sickness. Motion sickness, motion of the ocean, get it? No? Bad joke? I'm sorry guys, that was a really bad joke, but hey, if I didn't laugh at myself, then who would? So, as I said, starting off in the kitchen because I feel like it's a really good starting point, and I tend to start all of my builds in the kitchen. I've got my island seating there, which I absolutely love, and I think it really fits well with the Point Break, and it's a really good space saver. Although, I did run into a little bit of trouble when I was playtesting. The chair that's closest to the bedroom door, my sim was not happy with it. She was not feeling it. She was waving her arms like a lunatic, telling me that she wasn't happy. Now, I don't know why she didn't just walk to the other side of the chair, but alas, I had to change it out. And I end up putting in the radio because that was in a spot that they couldn't reach either. So that will be different in the download and the screenshots. Now for the Point Break, I really wanted it to be very bright, cheerful, and colorful, and I wanted to bring the tropical and beach feel inside, so there's going to be lots of oranges, yellows, blues, and greens throughout the build. And as you can see, the cabinets are started out as a very, very bright yellow, but it was a bit too whoa for me. It was just a bit too in your face, and even though yellow is my favorite color, I ended up changing it to that sort of sunset burnt orange, and I think that works perfectly with the Point Break because again it's bringing the outside elements in. And I really like the trend of colorful appliances, so you can see we've got the cooker and the fridge, which are a blue, and then the coffee machine is very like a very lime green. And I absolutely love how all the colors sort of work together. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed yet from the builds that I do have on my channel, but I am a massive, massive clutter whore. I love me some clutter. So you're going to see a lot of that in the kitchen and the living room, and most of it is CC. I did stop filming several times just so I could go on CC sprees, and it was usually for something specific. So I think to myself, I really want something that says beer on it because we all know how much I love beer. So I delve into the depths of CC and I'd find it, and I'm pretty sure anything that you can think of, there's probably CC for it. And I just want to give kudos to the amazing creators that we do have in this community that have the time and patience to create CC. I'm just a builder. I wish I could do CC, but alas I can't. So I've got to give kudos to those people that do create it. It's absolutely fantastic. So as you can see, I did find my little shopping list, my little cork board, if you like, blackboard that has beer on it. Now, not only is there beer on the shopping list, guys, there's hummus. And what a combination that is, beer and hummus. I could go for some of that right now. I don't know about you guys. Now, speaking of beer, I'm recently back from my best friend's bachelorette party, and a lot of beer was consumed. However, we were in wine country, so a lot of wine was consumed. But not by me. I mean, on the testings, I did try out everything because why wouldn't you? It's there. Most of it was free. So you test out the wine that's put in front of you. And there was this one place that offered a port, which is a really heavy red wine. Now, I don't really like red wines. The only wines that I tend to drink are rosés, and I tend to like the sweeter ones. But at this testing place, there was a port, and they also gave you a piece of dark chocolate that had peanut butter in it, which I don't really like either. I swear there are some things I like, but dark chocolate with peanut butter, it's not my cup of tea. Anyway, you took a sip of the port, you took a bite of the chocolate, and it was a party in my mouth. It tasted like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you guys, and I absolutely love PB&Js. Like, oh my god, it was so good. But when we weren't wine tasting, I was drinking beer. Like, we went to this really nice, sophisticated steak restaurant, and there's all of my friends. They've got their glasses of red wine, and I'm drinking a bottle of Coors Light. But I feel like I'm a late drinker to the beer game, so I'm appreciating it as much as I can. Like, when all my friends were drinking beer, I was drinking Smirnoff Ice. It is sickly, it is sweet. Not only was I drinking Smirnoff Ice, I was also drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't even know what I was thinking, but the thought of those two drinks just makes me want to vomit. I drank a lot of that stuff. So I did get to enjoy my beer on this trip, and I was really, really excited about it. And it was so much fun to go home, see all my family and my friends. And I'm actually going back home for the wedding in September, which I absolutely can't wait for. So as you can see, I've got my CC there, and you can see the one more slot please. That thing gave me so much freaking trouble. I didn't know how to use it, and I used it while I was filming. Probably should have play tested it first before I used it, but I used it as I was filming. And I don't know how many I lost under the house because I was pushing the down button instead of the up button, but it was a lot. It was an epic fail. And I only noticed it when I went and did the landscaping. That's the only time I noticed it. I just thought they had disappeared into thin air. I was like, where the hell did these things go? But yeah, they were under the house, and I only discovered it sort of the last part of filming and building. Sometimes I amaze myself at my stupidity. Honestly, epic fail. Facepalm. One of the other things that I absolutely love the CC is that dishwasher thingamajigger. There's no dishwasher in the Point Break just because I didn't have enough cabinet space, and it is such a small build that the dishwasher drainer thingy is essential, and I absolutely love it. Amazing. I just can't get over how cute that is. Now I'm almost finished with the kitchen. The only thing left is the wall, and I really wanted a feature wall, and you can see I started with a bit of a blackboard, but I didn't think it worked in the kitchen space, so I end up going with this distressed wood, and I really like how it turns out because again it's bringing the outside in, and it really just brings the Point Break together, and I always like to have a feature wall in my builds. Now for the rest of the walls, I've got sort of a tropical pattern, but it's really subtle. I wanted it to be black and gray because of how much color is in the build, so I've just got that tropical subtle black and gray on the walls in the living room, and just starting on the front room, and I'm going to be using a lot of moo. Now I started off trying to make my own entertainment center on the wall that I'm on, and it actually didn't work on that wall because there wasn't enough space for my Sims to get into the kitchen, so I end up moving it to the front wall, and so you sort of walk in the front door and then you have to turn and then you're in the front room. And I used a lot of moo, which is one of my favorite cheats. I think I build with moo on, and the only time I turn it off is when I'm play testing. It's absolutely fantastic tool to use in your builds, and you can really create some amazing spaces. One of my favorite things to do is moo bookshelves into walls, and then you lose the backs of them and it just looks like they're sort of floating shelves. So I tend to do that in a lot of my builds. Now one of the things I will say about moo is that you absolutely need to playtest everything, because there's nothing worse than a Sim trying to use an item or an object and they're waving their arms, stamping their feet and yelling at you, telling you that they can't get to it. Now maybe we should have smarter Sims, I'm not sure, but nonetheless, playtest with moo. And one of the other things that I wanted to put into the Point Break was a little office area. So I've got it here on an angle, and I do like to put things on an angle when I'm building. I don't tend to like things in a row, which is very strange because I think I do have a little bit of a touch of OCD. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just lost 2 one more slot pleases under the house, which I will be deleting later. So anyway, just cluttering up this little office space that I have. And like I said, I really just wanted a place where my Sim could be a writer if they wanted to. And I use a lot of clutter as well because I absolutely love it when houses look like somebody lives there. I don't like to make my houses showrooms unless I'm building for somebody specific and that's what they ask and they don't want a lot of clutter. But honestly, why wouldn't you want a lot of clutter in your house? I just think it makes the builds when you've got clutter. So I'm just going through and I'm just placing the last little details of the build. I'm gonna get to recoloring soon, but I just like all the different sort of wood textures that I ended up using, and I think those herring CCs are so cute. Again, I feel like that brings sort of the tropics inside, and I think our little surfer chick would absolutely love that. Now, speaking of our surfer chick, she is finished and I'm so happy with her. She's absolutely adorable, and she kind of reminds me of somebody. Now, when the video goes up, you guys have to tell me if she reminds you of anybody, because she does me, and I didn't set out to make her look like anybody, but it just ended up that way. So I'm super excited to share her with you. She turned out really, really cute in my opinion, and I think she's really going to enjoy the Point Break. So I'm just gonna leave you guys with the recoloring because there's not much left. I do have a little sort of music area that I end up changing into a pantry in part 3 because it just didn't work with the space. But I'm gonna leave you for the rest of the build with the recoloring, some tunes to jam out to. But if you guys enjoyed part 2 of the Point Break, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I absolutely love to interact with you guys. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, go and hit that button. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys. Bye!